Adamec, Harley-Davidson for hosting this stuff and allowing us to come up here and making this all possible. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over to Jason Holman from the Garage Built Podcast and Chris Kellen from Cycle Source. They're the real pros, and we're going to get some of this stuff handled. So you guys put it up for them for coming out.
Thank you. I am Jason Holman from the Garage Built Podcast, and that is one of my cohorts and mentors, Chris Kellen from Cycle Source Magazine. He and his wife, Heather, have worked tirelessly all year to make sure that these types of shows can happen and they get the shine that they need to have. If you're not already tuned into Source Media, I would suggest you do that on Instagram, Facebook. Check out the show to check out if you want to put your toes in the water and find out what Source Media is all about. It's 8 o'clock on Sundays on Facebook Live. These guys broadcast on 14 different platforms all around the globe, and there's an interactive piece that goes with it, and I would highly suggest it is the most substantive motorcycle enthusiast for our group of people. And we're all a certain kind of broken toy, and Chris puts that show on every week with his wife, and they work figuratively and literally work their asses off all year to put that on. So I'm going to give the mic to Chris for just a second so he can kind of give you kind of some pointers on what we're going to do, and then we'll start giving these awards away.
All right, very kind words, man. He's too nice. I want to thank all you guys for coming out here and helping launch this thing, man, because, the work that goes into this, the people that you see around the parking lot here, they believe in what this man was putting together. We did too. Give it up for Fish for putting this. This is going to be so much more than a bike show, man. For the years to come, Heather and I were talking about how fantastic it is to have like a bookend for that crazy week. Like, we had a good time in Daytona this year, man, right? Out of the house, we all escaped, man. It's so good to get down in the sun. But how better to end that week than to just here in the place, hanging out with all your buddies and bring it all down. Everybody coasts into the ending. It's the greatest way that we've seen Daytona go. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting Custom Motorcycles and the builders that put their heart and soul into every one of these things, because they're staying up around the clock for months and months to get this 1 week to come out here and show you what they've done. So big hand for all the builders, please.
All right, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Heather, also, his lovely wife down there. We're just going to go, I'm going to go right down the order that they are on the flyer. So I don't judge bike shows. I normally go to a lot of bike shows, but I got an opportunity to do that today. It's very difficult to do that in this space because there's a lot of amazing bikes in here, like Chris said. People pour their heart, souls, all their extra money, all the money they hide from their wives, earmuffs, Karen, just to put extra dollars into these bikes and make the parts that they can't buy and buy the parts that they can't make. So we'll start out with best custom paint. Again, amazing motorcycles in this parking lot. But the one that we kept going back to was bike number 10, Ray Lane's Copper Top Garage Shovelhead. The paint on that bike is timeless. You don't know if that bike was built in 1968, 1978, or 2018. So congratulations, Ray. Let's hear it for him. Remember, too, not only is he going to get an amazing piece of garage art handcrafted by our boy here, Fish, he's also going to win $500. Yeah. Well deserved, Ray. Fantastic bike. Yeah, and Ray, just so everybody knows, Ray has 2 bikes in the show. He's also got this beautiful panhead that was right over here. The seafoam green or calypso green and black with the gold trim. Another amazing bike. So.
I'm just going to say, if you say calypso green again at a chopper show, I'm throwing you off this stage.
I don't know. It's a real rich, warm color. I don't know, what would you call that? Seafoam green?
Hey, I did want to say something that, you guys that are local to Jacksonville and St. Augustine area, you're not going to see a batch of bikes like these Pro Builders bikes just parked anywhere. These guys are the top bikes from all over the country, and that was a big goal of doing the show, is to kind of bring all these bikes together. That you're not going to see them parked together often. So hopefully we can do that in the upcoming years. But yeah, these bikes are from all over the place, not just Florida, you know, stuff like that. So this is a special day.
Okay, best pre-1983 chopper. Again, very difficult task to do. But when we walked around several times separately, walked around together, argued, lobbied, threatened, the best bike that came out was number 13, Foundation Moto bike. It had the white tank with the... take a look at this bike. There's lots of little things on this thing that it's very nuanced. From the, I'm assuming, owner-built mid-controls. The pipes are bananas. Look where the pipes come out at. This is a true, old-school, deserving of a pre-83 accolade. The juice brake sent me over the top. Congratulations, man.
Right behind it. Like center. There you go. Got a face for radio.
All right, a couple more pictures of K-Rock.
So this bike in particular, I'm always a big fan of the work that Paul does, but on top of that, what Jason and I were talking about as we were making our way through the parking lot is the commitments that he made and some of what he selected for this motorcycle to go after that style, to go after that theme. And like he said about the juice brake, the front tire, at the same time, a keen eye for detail. You know, his use of negative space and stuff was incredible. Really comes together to make that a clean and perfect motorcycle.
And his ability to apparently tune an untunable carburetor for me. Okay, the next class is going to be Best Vintage Restoration. And again, there's a couple bikes on this on the property here that tick the boxes. But this one was, once we walked around and looked at them, we kept coming back to it. It's number 7, Earl Jordan, the black flathead. Very nice job. Again, lots of period correct pieces. Anything that's not period correct has been modified to make it look as such. And I'll let Fish talk about this bike because he knows a lot more about flatheads than I do.
All right, well, you know, like Jason was saying, to get all those parts and components working together correctly, I believe, didn't this bike take 3 years to get together, sir?
3 years, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. And you can tell this man worked hard on it, you know, but getting all that stuff, just collecting it is one thing. Hitting all the swap meets and stuff like that, you know. My 42 flathead certainly doesn't have all those original components on it. So getting it all together is a big thing. It's a beautiful bike.
Woo!
Dedicate this to my pop, who is 90 years old today, passed away December 27th. Way to go, Pop!
All right, the next class is going to be Dyna FXR. There's some fire in this parking lot, but when it all got down to the brass tacks, the one that stole the show was bike number 1, Adam Devine. When you look at this bike, I want you to look at the detail. There's almost nothing that hasn't been modified or replaced, and it's not always about what you change to the parts. Sometimes about what you don't change. Sometimes it's about what you modify. It's got a beautiful. I mean, look at the paint on that. That's definitely a Boosted Brad. Boosted Brad from Death Metal Racing Parts. This guy is a juggernaut between his parts line, his ability to paint, his ability to build some of the highest level motorcycles that have been built over the last 15 years. Aside from the fact that he and I are very, very close friends, have been friends for a long, long time, this bike just kind of took our breath away as far as the use of color, the use of the aftermarket components. So congratulations, man. That is a fantastic motorcycle. Very, very good job. Yes, sir. And again, when someone wins a class, it's never to take anything away from the other bikes in the class. This show arguably has some of the best motorcycles that we've seen all week, all year. You know, we put a show on, Chris and I and Heather and my wife and a few others. We put a show on over in Lakeland, and we get to see some amazing motorcycles in that show. And some of the bikes that are here today were some of the bikes that were in that show. And you know, the best bike on the lot usually wins. Good job, buddy. All right. So this one, the next class is 83 and up chopper, and the bike that won this one from a little ways away, I didn't think it's got a trick. This bike tricked me. I had to get up on it and look at it. This is bike number 12, the Foundation Moto Chopper. This thing is really, really solid. And from here, I'm looking at it going, it looks like a shovel head, right? But it's got, I think those are EMD killer parts, right? But this bike, he really, really went painstakingly. Even the wiring, you can tell he knows good wiring. That's something that's that I'm always looking for. And
Wiring people.
yeah, somebody's got to do that last minute stuff that when everybody else goes home, that everybody usually hates. I think that's why I picked it. That is a fantastic looking motorcycle. Very, very well done.
Good job, Chris.
Woo!
So like Jason said, you know, from a distance, this thing has a trick and it'll fool you into thinking that it's older than it actually is, but not just because of the Evo motor, not just because, you know, it's a soft tail. Everything has been accentuated to go to that time period, you know, right down to the tin type primary look and everything that was put into that. That bike is a sneak from front to back, man. Like as soon as you walk up to it, you're like, oh, there's an old hardtail shovelhead. Really, really a painstaking amount of work, I imagine, to make that motorcycle look like that. So fantastic job. And this was a fish paint job. Oh, there's some inside stuff going on.
Nope. Okay, so we have 2 more classes left. We have the bagger class. I can tell you that this bagger that won today, when we all walked the lot and then we went back, we said, well, which one did you get? Which one did you get? We all got this bike right out of the chute. This thing is sitting over there in the cut, and it's absolutely badass, for lack of other words I can come up with. Bike number 19, Joe Yandrick. This thing is bananas. And he's going to ride it in. This is a ride-in bike show today. Look at the use of paint with the carbon fiber, the fit and finish on the fenders, the selection of the componentry. You know, I grew up in a custom motorcycle family, and my dad had a rule that no part goes untouched. And if you look at that bike, every single part on that bike that is on there, except for a few little items, has been massaged or properly fitted, there's a lot of thought that went into that bike, and I just think that bike looked killer.
And he gets the red trophy for the red bike. We were looking for a home for that.
Good job, man. Fantastic build.
All right. So before we go to Best in Show, I wanted to take a minute here. My name's Chris. I publish Cycle Source Magazine. If you guys don't know me, my wife Heather, we go all over the planet and see custom motorcycles. And what they were saying earlier here is absolutely true. These guys are from all over the country. Some of the top builders here. I mean, just to throw out a few, Johnny 99, Bill Dodge, amazing. Austin Andrello's bike was here a little while ago. Brian Butera. These are top shelf builders that are bringing this stuff to the best shows. They were all over Daytona kicking ass. To have them on this parking lot, it was an absolute treat. We have selected one motorcycle here today. It gets you a Cycle Source Award. I wish there was some cash, but I don't know why we were so cheap and didn't give any money. There could be pizza in it for you too. So good trophy from Cycle Source. But we just wanted to show our appreciation and really give some kudos out to a bike that we thought in the pro class was just over and above. You know, this cat was invited, not necessarily a pro in the sense that, you know, he does this stuff for day in and day out living, but the execution on this motorcycle it's just absolutely sick. So the Adamec Chopper's bike right down here. Yeah. Come on up here, man. Where's our trophy, Heather? There she goes. Bring that thing up here and show everybody that motorcycle. When you look at this bike, like that's, as Jason was saying, you walk around and it really comes down to what's out of position, what has been incorporated into an overall theme of a motorcycle. You could throw some of the best parts in the world onto a motorcycle, but if you leave that one shitty bolt that sticks out, you took the time to do all bitchin' 12-point stainless hardware, and then you have that one rusty nut, that's the thing that made the difference on this parking lot today. And this motorcycle, front to back, man, everything was methodical and put together to achieve this look. Very well done. Congratulations.
And I'm looking forward to what Rich builds next, because two of the other bikes out there that were definitely in the running for some of the other classes are out there. Rich, you do a fantastic job. And thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting everything we do motorcycling and taking time away from what you do normally. So the last bike on the awards is the Pro Builder. Obviously not an easy task for any of us. Lots of metrics came into play, and when it was all said and done, we all kind of put the name that we thought needed to be in there with the bike that was here and everything, and I kind of do, yeah. So I'll let you get into that.
It was really, really hard, you know, and it's always hard for guys at this level to hear that they were second, you know what I mean? But I feel compelled to talk about some of the motorcycles that were here, and Johnny 99, this was our second place motorcycle, and I hate to say it to you like that, dude, but you're killing it. You're killing it, man,
And I'm always amazed at the things that Bill has the balls not to do on his motorcycles. And if you spend some time poring over these motorcycles, and you look at Brian's work, and you look at Kyle Ray Rice's work, you look at Johnny 99's work, you look at Jared from Weems Motor Co.'s work, everybody has their own DNA. Justin from Hang 'em High. You can start to see some DNA in these bikes. When you've been doing this as long as Chris has, and I have, and Fish, and these individuals down here, you know, and you see people coming up, it's not necessary. This show is about what's next too. And everybody that's on the Pro Builder dais, make sure that you go home and build something else to come here, because we want to do this show again next year. And I want to thank the Adamec for putting this up for the day and putting the money into this show so that this show actually can mean something. I want to thank everybody that took time for their day to come down here and hang out with us and drink beer and eat food and watch these crazies inside the wall of death. And if you didn't win an award today, go home, put your welding helmet on, put some music on, or the Garage Bill podcast, or Source Meeting, and build something cool, because we want to keep this thing going. And Fish, I'll let you finish off. Everybody, give it up for Fish one more time. This guy worked his ass off to put this together. Thank you very much, brother. And I want to say the last thing I'll say is, look around at the builders here. 10 years ago, you couldn't have a show that had choppers and baggers and FXRs and British bikes, and where's Austin's bike, Japanese bikes, they're all in the same place. There's no posturing here. These people on the grounds, especially these vendors that we all kind of orbit in this circle, there's lots of good things happening. A rising tide lifts all ships. So let's hear it one more time for the Adamec.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming out and everybody for being here. Let's do it again next year. I'll keep it short and sweet so I don't tear up. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for coming out.